What's going on, guys? My name is Kyle. I'm a full-time reseller. I'm going to bring you guys through everything that we sold in the last 3 days, which unfortunately is not a ton. Definitely slower sales days. My store is kind of designed to have a little bit of a slower sales going into Christmas, the holiday season. Not a ton of new items. I do storage units a lot, so kind of at the mercy of what I've had. I've talked about it before. This is one of my worst sourcing summer ever right now. I live in Rhode Island, so today it started out at 28 degrees. Not a lot going on as far as yard sales, estate sales, that kind of stuff. Kind of slows down, obviously, with the winter season. So I do a lot of storage unit sourcing. Not a ton of thrift stores. The thrift stores around here are a little challenging. You can do it. It's definitely possible, but I'm not a huge clothing reseller. I don't know a ton about good brands. So to go in and find hard goods is a little bit more difficult than finding some good deals on clothing. So I knew my store was going to have a slowdown. I didn't want to see this much of a slowdown, especially with the amount of work I've been putting into it. I've been really trying to increase my sales. But this store is definitely designed for after the season when people start to get money back from, you get some cash and gift cards, that kind of stuff. People are going to be looking to spend money, and my store will do well with that because I do have a lot of collectibles. So things that people might not necessarily buy because they're not new. You might see those sales go up in the new year, a couple days after Christmas. So that's what I'm really looking for. I also do a second eBay with all sports cards, and that's been doing decent, and I think that'll explode after the holiday season. So good to see that. Yesterday we had $46 in sales. So I had two sales. The first one is this crystal decanter. I've had this forever. This was on my old store. I had it on for $39.99. I put it onto my new eBay, cross-listing it from my card one now to the one I've created for everything else. This sold for $29.99 plus shipping. Sold same day. So fast sale there for something I've had probably on my eBay for about a year. The other thing that we sold was these two DS games. So it is Micro Machines V4 and Call of Duty Modern Warfare for the DS. So both of those sold. That sold for $7.99 plus $7.90 shipping. So one thing I've kind of talked about was I had bad shipping on there. I was just doing this is probably a 4-ounce rate and the $7 they charge. So anything like 8 ounces or below, I'm usually charging $5 to $6, depending on where I think it is, as a flat rate now. Anything that's I would say probably about a 12-ounce rate, 10, 12, 6 up to a pound. I'm charging a 4-ounce rate for calculated shipping just so that I don't have to go back in and change things if changes are being made. And I know the post office is making changes going early into next year. So just being at a lower rate, I'm going to be at pretty much what it's selling for or what the shipping should be. But I don't have to monitor it. I don't have to come up with these bulk, I forget what they call them, but bulk rules essentially for your shipping. So happy to see that go. The shipping was a little extreme, probably why it took a little while to sell, but did eventually move. Sold this comic book, The Warlord. So I'm finally done kind of sorting my comic books. I've got a huge comic book buyout. I spent $1,900 on it. I was profitable probably in the first week. I've had this for about 3 months now, and I'm still going through it. Comic books aren't exactly my strong suit. I'm not a big comic book person, but I know a good deal when one's out there, and there are a lot of 15 cent, 12 cent, 25 cent, this one is, comic books. So I'm not even sure 15 is one of them, but definitely a lot of good books that there were. Some 10-cent comic books in there, so I picked those up. They were all in really good condition. Some of these especially the Dell comic books with the Disney characters, they were in such good shape that I was able to get a premium. Some of them I was getting up to $50 a book on. So really good deal, good sales. But now it's getting to the point where I'm just blowing it out. So I have everything sorted by independent, DC, and Marvel. And I'm going to try to do big lots of DC, all the Superman, Marvel. I'm not sure with Marvel what I have for lots. A lot of that I kind of put together just because of how popular Marvel is. Independent, I know that there's a bunch of Spawn comic books. I'm going to put those all together. But try to get some big lots going and just blow them out. I might put them on auction. I might put some of them, if they're bigger, better known people, in lots. I'm thinking about doing a big New Year's auction. So I've been talking about this for a little while. I have a ton of Hot Wheels. I have a ton of sockets, made in USA sockets from Craftsman. I have old G.I. Joe clothes. So a bunch of things that would be great for auctions. I'm thinking about just putting them all in one big lots and trying to get 10 to 15 auctions going, of auctions that I think will sell at probably $100 or more. And hopefully just blowing those out. We'll see. The Hot Wheels, maybe not $100, but some of the other things that should definitely go. So I'm thinking about doing comic books in there as well, just to really start my store off strong. My sales off strong. Start the new year off strong. Kind of a peace of mind thing. Just getting my mind in the right mindset going into this next year. This one's pretty cool. I didn't know anything about this. So Seiko, this is a watch box. So not the cleanest condition. You can kind of see some like wear there. And then like on the silver part here, it's like a little stain brown. A little bit of staining on the inside of the box. It does come with the paperwork and then the physical box itself. So this is the display box, and ooh, there's a piece of cloth in there. And then it's still a little dirty in there, so it needs to be cleaned up. I didn't do anything with this. I put it up. It sold the same day. This sold for, clicked on buttons, sold for $11.99 plus shipping on that. So sold next day, same day. Happy to see it go. This was a consignment deal I actually did, and I just bought the consignor out for the remainder of the stuff. There's nothing really exciting in it at this point. There was one book I sold in there for $1,100. That was like the holy grail of this whole consignment. But it was a lot of decent stuff. Originally started with me buying some sports cards from them. But everything else now should be, it's not going to be a ton of money. I paid them an extra, probably like, we were splitting it, I was actually giving them more. This is when I first started. I gave them 60%. I was keeping 40% after fees, everything like that. At this point now, I'm pretty much just keeping everything because I paid them an extra $400 of what I owed them. And I don't think anything is going to pop out. I probably have about 3 more totes to go through. I don't think anything crazy is going to pop out. I think it's going to be a lot of like $11 sales, stuff like that. Back to the comic books. Last comic book. Oh no, we got one more lot. Cave Woman. So this sold. This is number 4, I think. Issue number 4. So usually the number 1 issues are the ones I'm looking for. But this sold for $5.50 plus shipping on there. Next time I sold, these are 6 drawer pulls. So unfortunately, I don't have these. I'm not sure where they are. I gotta go looking in this mess. You can see behind me. Hopefully this is the last day of all this behind me, or last video. I'm probably end up filming quickly tomorrow for anything that does sell today, because I'm gonna get it out. Maybe I'll do it on Saturday. I haven't quite decided. But last day of all that crap. These drawer pulls though, I'll put the picture up there. Sold for $23.74, an offer I sent out. Plus shipping on top. Antique drawer pulls sell well, as you can see. The lot. I haven't one more actually. I haven't shown yet. That's also going out. This is a little GI Joe. This is a fort. The fort, I've talked about this before, was huge. The first room was probably like 1 square foot, and then it had 2 side rooms that are probably like 10 inches long each, and was fairly high. Breaking it all down just wasn't really an option to get it into a box and have it make sense. So sold this piece. It's a garage floor lift, so in the middle of the lift lifts the vehicles to work on them. $12 plus shipping on top for that one. Took a little while to sell, but did eventually move. Next thing up, there's probably no way we're gonna be able to show this, but this is like a little bear for Pandora charms. So this sold for $18.99 plus shipping. As you guys probably know, those are all sterling silver. Obviously not worth the scrapping because the charm is worth more. This is an old Pandora charm my wife had. She wanted to polish it up, but just decided to get moving and move it along. All right, had to step aside to go get this action figure, Stevie Ray, just a WWE figure. This is from 1994. Sold for $9.99 plus shipping on top for that. This was one of the better condition ones. Usually I was getting about probably like $5 to $8 each one. Still not the cleanest condition, not the most perfect, but as far as paint transfer goes, wasn't the worst ones that I've had. So got a tiny bit of a premium on that one, which was nice. Miss Me jeans, so you're not gonna be able to see much from here, but sold these $17.99 plus shipping on top. Got these from a storage unit. I don't do much in women's clothing, so anything I get is gonna be storage unit. Hopefully these people will get this in time. 6 geese are laying. So this is a ornament set. It's from the 12 Days of Christmas. All 12 of these sold together do fantastic. So if you can somehow find the set of this, it's from Dillard's from 2012. And then this is the ornament here. Just on the front, you got your 6 geese laying, and then they have just on the back an egg that says 2012 on it. But if you can get a complete set of these, crazy money into that set. This one independently sold for $10.99 plus shipping on top for that. So definitely a good one to look out for. Beyond that, any like theme holiday sets, make sure you're being on the lookout for. Speaking of holidays, I'm not really sure what's going on with this one, but we ended up selling 3 skulls. So these are Halloween like markers. You put them like in your driveway. They space out. They do light up and make noise. I was aggressive with these ones. I listed them quickly, got them. I think I bought these at a yard sale for like $1. Put them up, dropped the price, was super aggressive, wanted to get out for Halloween because obviously these are not selling after Halloween. Week before Christmas sells for $14.49. So plus shipping on top of that. So an odd sale, something I did not think was moving, especially they're huge. They take up a lot of space in here. So I am happy to see those off and out. But definitely took up a little bit of room there. Last thing we sold was this 3-pack of The Mummy, or The Living Mummy, I should say. This is a Marvel comic book. It's books 9, 10, and 13 from 1974, sold for $12. So not a lot of sales. We got one more, actually. I lied to you. So this one is on Mercari. It's lion drawer pulls. So try to make it so you can actually see it. 1 and 2 there. Small little 1-inch drawer pulls. That's all for $11 plus shipping on top for that. So not a ton of sales. My eBay has, as I said in the beginning, been pretty slow. It's a little discouraging because I have been pretty active on this account, trying to really drive up the store and get Coin 26 going. But I knew in my head that this wasn't going to be the best week for me. Next week should be pretty dismal, and the week after, hopefully we'll see some real big pickup. I'm going to continue listing. Really nice thing about this, and when sometimes it can be discouraging, it's nice when you kind of get into like a automatic layup. My wife is going to be off in this next couple of weeks. She's a school teacher. They're going to be off, I don't know how long, maybe a week, maybe 2. I have no idea how long she's actually going to be off for, but this is her last week. So I'll have someone to do some sourcing with me. There's a new Goodwill Bins in Providence, Rhode Island. We want to go check out and see. But it's been a little bit chaotic. Today is only a day that I work till 11. I have to pick up my daughter at 11:30. Yesterday as well, and the day before we get cut short. So it's been, or I start later just because she has some appointments, stuff that she's working through. So it has been a little bit chaotic, a little bit of a change for me. Wouldn't trade it for the world. It's nice that I do have this flexibility being full-time. Stinks that a lot of the nights I'm working, so I'm not hanging out with my wife as much, but trying to make up for some of the lost time that I am doing in the day. But the business has been running pretty well. I'm super excited where we're at. If you guys want to follow me along on my journey becoming a full-time reseller, I'm going to set some goals. I got to think of some achievable goals, but things that I can do for 2026, and I'll probably have a video of that coming out soon. But just going to take you guys along each week, see what I'm selling, talk about what's going on, and I appreciate you guys. I'll catch you on the next time.